up, that raccoon he's burning one down. He's like, man, you know what? This is a bad day. My owner just got arrested. You know what I need right now? Some methamphetamine.
Raccoons are
the worst.
They are a wild card regardless.
Yeah. Raccoons are big squirrels with brains. Like, they can figure stuff out that the squirrels can't figure it out.
Imagine a cracked out raccoon.
Yeah. All I know is I have a squirrel-proof bird feeder I've talked about on the show that's electric powered. But that raccoon is so damn strong, he can hold that thing and just
buffet it out there.
Just cleans it out every night. Maybe he's on crack.
Talk about some serious coin. Millions of coins spilled onto a Texas highway this week after a tractor trailer hauling $800,000 in dimes rolled over in an accident.
Oh, yeah, remember Blazing Saddles? Has anybody got any dimes? Somebody's got to go back and get a crap load of dimes.
The spillage led to the closure of a portion of the southbound lane of US 287 in Alford for about a half a day. Forget a half hour, half a day.
Holy smokes.
As workers got on their hands and knees to pick up the coins, in addition to using brooms and shovels and large industrial vacuums. The tractor trailer rolled onto its side about 5:30 a.m. Tuesday after veering off the road and overcorrecting. The driver and a passenger were transported to a hospital with injuries that were not life-threatening.
His feelings were hurt.
The tractor trailer appears to be part of a fleet of trucks operated by Western Distributing Transportation Corporation. A person answering the phone at the company Thursday said they had no comment.
No comment?
I can tell you this, if I was stranded in the road,
I'd need a comment.
I would have been getting after them dimes, buddy.
Hey, here's something that almost happened to me in Costa Rica a few weeks ago. Tourist bitten by a crocodile while taking a selfie at the zoo because they thought the animal was fake. A man visiting the zoo was attacked by a crocodile after he climbed into the animal's enclosure to pose for photos. Okay, you know what? That's natural selection. If you're at a zoo and you climb into the crocodile habitat, honestly, whatever happens to you at that point,
you're asking for it.
That's on you. The man, identified by the Manila Bulletin, this is in the Philippines, as a 29-year-old, climbed over the chain link fence with a cell phone in hand to take a picture. Police officers told local media the man had climbed into the enclosure because he thought the crocodile was fake. Quote, the tourist was walking around the area. He saw the crocodile and thought it was a plastic fixture. He climbed the fence, entered the enclosure, and the crocodile attacked him. What did I tell you the other day? Alligators, they won't fight you unless you mess with them. Crocodiles are looking for a fight. So this dude, the zookeeper in charge of the crocodile, a female named Lele, had attempted to stop the man from climbing the fence beforehand, but he eventually entered the enclosure himself to rescue the 29-year-old after hitting the crocodile over the head with a piece of concrete. So the guy got 50 stitches because he got bit in the arm and the leg. When I was in Costa Rica a few weeks ago, we showed the picture here. We took that boat over on the side of the river, and that crocodile was 17 and a half feet long, weighed a ton, was 85 years old, named Osama, and he was giving us the side eye. And I'm over there taking pictures. My wife's like, you need to get on the other side of this boat.
They're dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
Legit like dinosaurs.
This was an 85-year-old animal that weighs a ton and is 17 and a half feet long, and he looks like, but I'll say this, they'll lay there forever. Like I get why the guy thought it was plastic, but you don't climb in and deal.
Keep your meth away from your raccoon.
He got his leg stitched up? Did he get his cooter stitched?
That old crocheted cooter. Watch out for the meth.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Monday, the NBA and NHL playoffs roll on. NFL rookie minicamps are wrapping up, and I'll react to it all in my Upon Further Review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
I can't believe they're moving the team to another city.
True, but you'll never forget all the joy they brought into your life.
Joy? They made the playoffs twice in 50 years.
Gosh, those 2 times were pretty great, weren't they?
How would I know? I wasn't even born yet.
Just think of all the free time you'll have on game days.
Those games were the highlight of my week.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Are you ready for the NFL season? The schedule release is coming, and we know the best place to get your tickets this year. My friends at Vivid Seats. They're seriously legit, and you earn rewards on every purchase. That's basically free football games. When that schedule hits, don't wait around. For the best selection and all the great deals, head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in your game days now.
Venus Restaurant and Catering, your go-to spot for delicious breakfast and lunch in Florence. Since 1977, we have been serving up fresh and tasty meals to our loyal customers. Our breakfast menu features all of your favorites, from our fluffy pancakes to our fruity French toast, mouth-watering omelets to chicken and waffles. There's something surely to satisfy your craving. And the best part is, breakfast is served anytime. Or come for lunch. We prepare hot, fresh daily lunch specials serving juicy meats and fresh vegetables. Whether you dine in or grab something to go, come on in and enjoy your next meal with us. But that's not all. Venus offers catering for your next event, whether it's a business meeting or a family gathering. Our experienced staff will create a customized menu that fits your needs. And the best part is, your catering is hassle-free, so you could focus on enjoying your event while we take care of the food. Come see us at 471 West Palmetto Street and taste the difference. Venus is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., and Saturdays, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Hey y'all, kick off your weekend the right way at the Golden Saddle, a South Carolina tradition. Start with Thirsty Thursday and keep the fun rolling all weekend long. The Saddle, 2244 Harry Bird Highway in Darlington, and find them on Facebook for all the latest events.
Here in South Carolina, we have more. More industries, more employers, and more jobs than ever before. With SC Works, you can strive for more with programs, trainings, and resources to grow your career, all at no cost to you. Learn more at scworks.org.
Sponsored by SC Works, a proud partner of the American Jobs Center Network, an equal opportunity employer/program. Auxiliary aids and services available upon request to individuals with disabilities. For program funding details and compliance with the Stevens Amendment, please visit www.do.sc.gov/funding.
Do you want to play a great quality golf course in our area? Fox Creek Golf Club is the best value in the PD. Come play around at Fox Creek and see for yourself. You won't be disappointed. Fox Creek Golf Club, minutes from Florence, Hartsville, and Sumter. Book your tee time today.
Progressive Insurance. From the Florence Toyota Studios, home of the Press Box with Alan Smothers, WOLH Florence, 96.3 ESPN Radio. Welcome to South Carolina's premier tailgate show, Game Day in the Carolinas, broadcasting from the spacious tailgate of the Community Broadcasters Complex on the PD's 96.3 FM, Sumter's WDXY 105.9 FM, and on Facebook Live. Join Matt and Woody on the tailgate by calling 843-407-5812. And now, your party hosts, Woody Fagan and Matt Jordan.
And we are live this morning in the studio, as we always are. They never let us out. They never let us out, man.
Not too much.
No. It is Game Day in the Carolinas. I'm Matt. He's Woody. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And phone number, 843-407-5812, 843-407-5812. It is a weird weekend schedule for a lot of teams. The South Carolina series is mercifully over. Because I think their opponent may have graduation today. I think that's why they moved the game to a doubleheader. So, or they're beating weather. I don't know which either way. But mercifully, that came to an end last night. Coastal having their series, Clemson having their series, but there's a couple of series this week. You know, you're used to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a lot of teams do that this week because Sunday's Mother's Day, obviously.
Yep.
So they do it that way. But there are certain series this week that was Thursday, Friday, Sunday. I think the North Carolina NC State series is Thursday, Friday, Sunday because graduation is today.
You don't think they thought about that before they made the schedule? I mean, that's kind of ridiculous that you couldn't have avoided a split.
I know.
In a schedule.
Why do we have to have graduation today? Can't we wait till Monday?
Well, either way.
I know, yeah. But that's just how some of the series goes, yes, Gamecock fans, we're mentioning it right off the top, so we can get it out of the way. You got swept again.
Keep rubbing it in, man.
I'm not. Look, all right, my team, full disclosure, my team's about to fall out of the top 4 in the Big South, all right?
It's all right. I'm just picking.
I needed some kind of diversion from
Well, if nothing else, I mean, despite the collapse right now, and that's no way really to call it, because they were never, to me, when you collapse, that means you actually started out somewhere.
Yeah, you had a building to
collapse. You had something that built. There's nothing really been built this season. And I'm not a Paul Mainieri detractor. He's been here one season. The guy knows what he's doing. He's got championships under his belt. You know, granted, they were at LSU. You can say whatever you want. About what he had to work with there.
It's not like he just showed up on LSU's campus and they won national championships.
Exactly.
I mean, he had to build that program too.
Well, I don't know. Skip. Did he replace Skip?
Yeah, I think he replaced Bergman.
Yeah, so he had something to build on. You know, Bergman's last couple teams were decent.
He had something to build on.
Yeah. You know, I'm not knocking Mainieri. I don't think he needs to be fired. I really don't. I've already seen that all over the internet.
Yeah, can we stop that, please?
You know, this is ridiculous. Even saying it was going to be somebody put out there on one of those idiot, I'm a big Homer fan, I got my own podcast, you know, one of those guys you see all over LinkedIn or not LinkedIn, Facebook or
I don't
X
know.
Or whatever.
They seem to be going all over LinkedIn,
well, they're LinkedIn too. You know, and you've seen them. They'll have Garnet Sports or all Gamecock Sports. There's somebody idiot like that.
Chicken.com.
Yeah, and they'll put out, there's going to be a big announcement at South Carolina baseball set to make a big announcement. And everybody's, it's Mainieri. He's gone. And there was no announcement. There was nothing.
All they did was, we're just moving over to bad boy tractors. Mowers. Come on.
Can we, and I think the other big one is the Under Armour contract set to expire here shortly, and everybody's wondering if they're going to go be Nike school. You know,
maybe.
And if they do, they do. It doesn't really matter what you're wearing; it's the product on the field.
Right. And that's the whole thing. Now, you know what they've done? They've found that the YouTube model is the most profitable because you go on YouTube all the time.
Clickbait.
You mean to tell me? Was it SEC set to make a big announcement?
Mm-hmm.
And it's got something to do with we're not going to have SEC media days in Hoover.
Yeah. We've switched brand to hot dogs at all the stadiums.
Yeah,
I mean, something stupid like that. And these guys just drive me up the wall. So, whatever.
It is. Yeah.
You know, I don't even, if I didn't see the title of it, I'm just shaking my head going, there's no big announcement. They're not going to, number one, the guy just inked a contract. The buyout's going to be crazy. They're not going to spend that kind of money. I mean, if they would spend that kind of money to run off the former basketball coach and then even run off the former football coach, they waited that out a little bit to get rid of him.
They ain't going to fire him.
They're not going to spend that kind of money on a baseball coach.
And here's the thing, too. Everybody expects the transfer portal to be the savior of the solver of all problems, right? Because, Deion Sanders, and he wasn't the only one. He was just the most famous case.
Yeah.
Put 50 players or whatever in the transfer portal, got 20. Football and baseball are so different. I mean, have we forgotten this? Have we forgotten that these are two different monsters? There's not a lot of baseball players that go into the transfer portal, first of all. And it's not like you can dump. And let's be honest, have you seen the team? How many combined, if you move it back to football, how many combined playoff appearances do teams that dump double-digit players in the transfer portal? Can somebody tell me how many playoff appearances they have? Oh, that's right, none.
None.
Absolutely none. So are you meaning to tell me, you want him fired because he didn't dump all of Mark Kingston's players into the transfer portal and just grab 28 new players? You'd be in the same boat.
Yeah.
You would be in the same boat because you still wouldn't have chemistry.
It boggles my mind. I just don't. I think if it's anything, it's going to prove this model of NIL is eventually going to, our transfer portal is going to eventually prove itself for what it is. You cannot build a team around that.
No, you can't.
You've got to develop some talent yourself.
I don't know a team that has relied mostly on the transfer portal. Yeah, okay. First couple of years, I mean, let's be honest, Beamer used it a lot the first couple of years, but I get that. First 2 years of a new coach, you want bodies.
Well, you look at the skill positions they're trying to go after, too. My point with the transfer portal is you're not going to build a whole new team a la Coach Sanders.
No.
You got to go out and find you skill position players to bring in certain spots. Yeah, it's going to work like a charm if you've got, you need that one more offensive lineman or that one more defensive edge rusher like you saw last year South Carolina brought in.
Get one.
Made all the difference in the world. And then he goes off in the draft. I mean, I just don't see you bringing a guy. I mean, I think the jury's still out on Notre Dame bringing in a transfer quarterback every year.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, now this year will be a new experiment because this kid's not a transfer guy. He's been in the program developing.
But see, I kind of get why they bring in a transfer quarterback, especially because it was Marcus Evans is what, or
they brought in
the coach at Notre Dame,
Freeman, Marcus
Freeman. This will be his fourth year,
third or fourth,
yeah. So I get it, and again, I got the same thing with Beamer. You're just bringing in, guys are going to leave your program because you changed the coach, because that, they're familiar with that system. But here's the thing. In basketball and in baseball, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You get old, and you get old together.
Yep.
That's the formula.
The perfect example would be Kentucky.
Yes.
I mean, even prior to the current administration, the coaches before that had 5 fab freshmen in every year, and they'd cycle right out and go to the NBA.
And
how many titles have they gotten?
I believe they only won one.
They ran roughshod in the conference. Great. Good for you.
Yeah. And when it came time, though, what is it, nuck if you buck or something, buck if you nuck?
Yeah.
That time, then they just didn't show up.
I think it works, again, to fill out a key position here or there. You got to have somebody. I just don't think you take quarterback positions. And granted, the last 2 quarterbacks that Notre Dame brought in as an example, to me, were all excellent quarterbacks.
How'd Miami do?
But there you go.
Miami's another one of those schools. They bring in your quarterback and your wide receivers need timing.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get that over spring practice. Sorry, that's just something you got to develop. And it's the same thing in baseball. We talk about it, especially with South Carolina's defensive struggles this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't just run out onto the field and turn a double play like clockwork.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to take time because you got to understand how the shortstop throws the ball, et cetera, et cetera.
What they've needed most, it seems like, though, has been more pitching than anything. And you're not just going to bring in 4 arms in a new rotation and a couple relievers, maybe a middle relief guy and a closer. You're not going to get 5-star arm talent in the portal. Not over one season. You've got to bring in guys and develop them. You've got to find local talent that wants to come play in your heralded, historically great program, and they want to stay there. And you add a few chess pieces here and there.
Right.
I mean, I see that happening, but at the state of that pitching. The pitching they've got right now, they need a complete overhaul.
That's why you and I both have 100% agree with Dabo Swinney's assessment of the transfer portal. If there's somebody that's talented in there, first of all, if there's somebody that's more talented than who you have right now, you failed as a recruiter.
Exactly.
But number 2, if there is, then you go get them. And it's the same way in basketball. It's the same way in baseball. Maybe basketball's a little different because now apparently everybody just jumps in because, it's fun or whatever. And we know 60% of these kids are going to stay at the same school.
Well, you're seeing some of the same migration with basketball. Now, you've got a few from the bigger schools that are trying to move on to another big school. Most of the ones are migrating up. They're leaving a smaller conference. They put up big numbers in their SoCon or whatever conference they're from, and they're trying to get to the ACC or they're trying to get to the SEC. There's an upward migration. And then occasionally you get the guy that's overhyped, that's more than he thinks he is, and they wind up not to hit that portal. They don't get picked up. They wind up going to a smaller school.
Why is this kid da-da-da-da-da? He was so da-da-da. Because, first of all, you got to find out they fit your system.
That's right.
That's the number one thing is trying to. But I guess back to our point here, if you're trying to figure out our point with baseball, you can't just dump everybody in the damn transfer portal and expect to be, world champions overnight.
We're going to be made whole next season. It ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. This is going to take a couple years.
There is no such thing as an overnight rebuild.
I mean, honestly, South Carolina had quite a bit of talent in those two teams that went back to back. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, you had an ALCS MVP.
There you go. You got a couple of guys, but I would argue there were teams that South Carolina had prior to that made World Series, that made the tournaments and all, that didn't win, that were more talented.
Yes.
They put more players back in the day in the Major League Ball. I think at some point in time, a couple of those squads. The one in particular I remember the most was the one that lost to Augie Garrido threw that knuckleballer in the last game. The same year South Carolina had to beat Clemson twice out in Omaha to get to the finals.
Yeah.
Clemson had swept them all season, just wiped the floor with them. Then they get out to Omaha. South Carolina wins back-to-back games to get to the final against Texas to get upended by a knuckleballer. Now, they had guys on that squad at South Carolina that could flat knock the cover off the baseball, played many years in the league. Those teams, to me, were more talented than the one that won the titles. The difference, maybe it's the competition, maybe it's the chemistry, because most of those guys in the back-to-back years had played together for a while.
Yes. But you notice that, too, about a lot of the national champions in baseball.
Yep.
They've played together 2 and 3 years. And you don't see that anymore. And listen, it's still going to take time for Maneri to flush the system of Kingston's players, because apparently we are learning very much, especially the last 2 years. You go and you can go all the way back to the time when South Carolina looks like they had everything together.
Mm-hmm.
You turn the corner, and then you had that collapse. You start back then, and then you go to today. No, I mean, you can definitely tell Kingston did not recruit properly.
Well, you look at the players that they've got on that squad right now, and you see glimpses. I mean, there are trace evidence of excellent athletes on this program.
You still got a guy named Ethan Petrie.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a couple others that are flat out that are going to make a name for themselves, I think, at the next level. The problem is they cannot seem to do it consistently.
No.
And that's the problem. I mean, I love Petrie to death, but Petrie's not a consistent player.
Well, because I've been under the argument for the past 3 or 4 weeks. Petrie's just, I think he's gotten tired from having to carry the team.
Well, everybody, leaning on him hard.
Yeah.
I think he's ready to go ahead and move on to the next level.
Yeah,
and I feel sorry for guys like that.
And nobody else seems to, and I think this is to the point of what you're making, nobody seems to want to step up when somebody else needs a step back.
Yep.
And that's how you find yourself next to last in the SEC.
So, it's going to be a frustrating ride with this one. We'll see where it goes. What really stinks the most about all this, though, in my opinion, and I mean, Clemson fans don't care one another because they hate the Gamecocks one way or the other, but what I hate about it this most is that a guy who helped continue on and build upon the program that was already solid when he got there, Ray Tanner, was there a long time, and Ray took a lot of flack for a long time for not having a championship before he did, but to get 2 back-to-back.
Yep.
And then to walk out and take another role, taking that other role tarnished the reputation of Ray Tanner.
Yeah.
And it sucks that one of the main things you would think, okay, you get a pass on not understanding how basketball, football, women's gymnastics, swimming, golf team, track team. We understand, the equestrian team. You get a pass on some of those because we realize you don't, you might not know a lot about that and how the scheduling works and how and all of it works together. But the one thing you can't screw up, or the one thing we expect you to know the most about, is baseball.
And we still even gave you a pass with Chad.
Yeah. And Chad, to me, would have been better to have kept in bringing Kingston in. Kingston was a joke.
I wholeheartedly agree. Now, I know Charleston's struggling this year, but, I mean, he's won what now? 2, 3 CAA titles?
Yeah.
Now, granted, I know CAA is a step down from the SEC, or 2 steps down, whatever you want to say. But even still, it makes you question. Now, I know there are also personal things that went on with.
I'm sure
he's admitted it.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder, was he given the right materials to turn it around?
Well, there had to have been other people on that staff besides Chad that might have been a better fit. You know?
No, I'm
and I'm not saying I'm not referring to Monty Lee because Monty had already moved on by then.
I mean, you had some other.
But there are other members of that staff.
Tillman, when did Tillman leave? Did he leave after Ray left?
I think so. But I'm not saying he would have been a great fit.
Yes, true.
But there are other places you could have gone. You did not necessarily have to hire from within, but that's a natural move. And you're also tipping your cap to the guy that's helped build you.
Right.
Chad and Monty Lee and the others were responsible for bringing in a lot of that talent that Ray Tanner turned into a title contender. They were in charge of judging talent, and bringing it in the house, and they did a good job. You got, a guy like Jackie Bradley Jr. My Lord, and there's so many others.
It does make you wonder because I think we addressed this last week, and I said it too, and I saw every sign that Chad was finally turning it around. There was only one place, let's just be honest. The first 2 years of Holbrook's programs, there was only one direction South Carolina could go.
Exactly.
And it wasn't up. You can't go any higher than back-to-back national championships.
And you almost got a third. We keep forgetting that. They almost got the third.
And you got it, damn near got a third. So, there was, like I said, there was only one direction. And it was going to have to be that way until Chad could turn the cruise ship. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. You ain't trying to turn a speedboat around here.
Yeah.
All right, a college program is a cruise ship. And if you've ever tried to turn a cruise ship around, it takes forever.
Yep. The other thing I heard one of the announcers, one of the writers from D1 baseball talking about it this week, that they almost hated the fact that Mainieri went to South Carolina, not because they dislike South Carolina, but because a Hall of Famer type coach like Mainieri will come back after retirement to take over a program where the expectations are already high.
Yep.
They're expecting a national championship trip this season under Mainieri, and it just wasn't going to happen.
I almost want to say the expectations that Clemson fans have for football are on par with the expectations that South Carolina fans have for baseball.
And I think Clemson's getting pretty close to that with baseball, too.
They are. Because, what have you got? Just look at what you got now. You got Leggett's back in the dugout. Now, granted, he's a consultant.
Well, he looks like he's running things to me. If you see flashes of him to the sidelines, he looks like he's running it.
But you had one of his number ones.
Yeah,
that was right there. Now he's Bakich is now the head coach.
Bakich is a great hire. all the way around. We said that day one. I totally agree.
You can win at Michigan.
Exactly. You can take a school like Michigan out there that can't play half their season under snow.
Right.
Yeah, he can coach.
You got Clemson fans ain't got nothing to worry about.
No. He's one of those I almost wish South Carolina could have landed. He was on my list.
But see, here's the other thing too, and I address this to the people who want Mainieri out. Who you gonna get? Who are you gonna get?
Well, I still like the head coach at Dallas Baptist, but he'll never leave there.
No. Because I think even he's an alum at DBU, isn't he?
I think so.
So he's gonna be there forever.
But look, I don't even know the guy's name right off the top of my head. But look at Coastal's continuation.
Schnall. Yeah, Schnall's going to get some serious looking.
Seriously. He's done a fantastic job for taking over for a legend at Coastal Carolina.
And I think it would be a mistake if Kevin Schnall left Coastal right now.
I do too.
And I'm not talking about a mistake for Coastal, a mistake for him.
I agree.
Because wherever he goes, he's going to have enormous expectations. But if I'm an AD, this season's great. But I would almost chalk this up as coach retired at the end of the year. These are a lot of his players. They wanted to play great for coach. They're probably playing 10 feet over their head. Let me see what you do next year.
Yeah. You can make the same argument. And the perfect example of this argument is our former coach from Mississippi State.
Yes.
He did quite well.
Would you? All right, let's say Mainieri retires tomorrow. Would you go after Lemonis?
He's got the experience, but if you can win a natty at a school, and then the next 3-4 seasons, it's just kind of like everybody's eating your lunch. I don't know. It kind of makes me wonder. I think he's a good coach. I do
too. Yeah.
You don't win a national championship in college baseball by accident. You don't stumble onto it. You got to have some skill. So either he brought that skill in or it was there when he got there. I kind of doubt it because they were struggling as a program too, I thought.
Yeah, they were kind of midland.
And that's another place where they spend big money. At that time, Duty Nolan was the nicest stadium in college baseball. They had just spent millions of dollars in building that stadium. And you want to talk about high expectations in baseball.
Oh, yes.
South Carolina could only dream to have the expectations they have at Mississippi State, I think. But he would have to be in the conversation. I'm honestly.
No, yeah.
That would be a phone call you'd have to make.
Him and Monty Lee. Because I still think you don't bring Monty Lee back unless you've got some kind of a gentleman's agreement in place.
Well, you still have to think that Lee has to have his hands and fingers in this. I mean, he is a coach. He can't just sit there and wait for Maneri to spin his magic. These guys are expected. They've got requirements and things they have to do. Well, he's a hitting coach, and
hitting's been one of the problems.
Yeah, but I mean, yesterday they were hitting off the one of the best pitchers in the SEC, if not the best pitcher in the SEC, and
should have won that game. Be honest,
they knocked the cover off of it in one inning there that I caught up with, and I thought, wow, maybe they're turning the corner here after but dropping 24 runs. Yeah, they dropped 40 runs in 3 games to this team.
It was 24 on Thursday, right?
That tells me all I need to know about the pitching. Yeah. Because I don't think it was all errors.
I wouldn't think it was. By the way, 24 on Thursday, and then 22 yesterday. If you add up the 2 scores yesterday, 22 runs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, should not be happening at a D1 program in the SEC. Period.
No, I agree with you on
I don't care who it is. There's not a team in SEC baseball that should have 21 runs scored on them.
That's a sustained problem. And it's been like that all year long. Because even and when the article even said yesterday morning, it's the most runs South Carolina has given up all year. Woody, did it feel like that to you?
No.
And it feels like that's what you've been giving up on a random Friday night anyway. 24 runs. I mean, I don't know.
There's been more double-digit losses in a season than I can remember in South Carolina baseball.
You blow a 10-run win. I mean, think about this. You're 6 outs away from run-ruling Texas A&M, and you lose the game.
Yep. I got no words, man. You can't explain it.
It's like Missouri, who, by the way, finally won an SEC game last night.
Thank God for Missouri.
I know. But you can't explain that either.
No.
I mean, because you would think even by accident they would have won 1 game by now in conference. But
have we heard the traditional excuse of, well, it's injuries. We've lost so many. I'm waiting for those excuses. I don't know who's injured for South Carolina's baseball team.
I think Maneri did bring up a couple of key injuries, but you're right. It hasn't been like I remember Kingston would start the injury thing in March.
Oh yeah.
In March. It's like, oh, well, blew out his arm in fall practice. And, we don't have this guy because he needed Tommy John surgery in February. And
is there a formula or some sort of an equation that you can figure out, okay, if you've got 6 injuries, key injuries to players, and you take the squared root of that and multiply it by whatever, that it equates to 24 runs in a game?
But
I don't think you could lose enough players to equal out 24 runs in a ball game.
Unless you are literally having your JV team face the best team in the country.
Yeah, they brought a club team in from the school.
Yeah, it's like West Florence High School is playing Texas A&M.
And that's an insult to West Florence High School.
Yeah, but I expect West Florence to give up 24 runs to Texas A&M.
I don't.
But
but I'm just telling you, I can't understand. There's not enough key player injuries that equate to 24 runs.
And
I'm trying to figure out, well, how many players do you have to lose to where it shows up on the scoreboard to 24 runs? Maybe 9?
Maybe
10?
Maybe you should start looking into forfeits.
So you lose 9 starters and a DH? 10 players, you got to lose the whole starting lineup?
Basically. I mean, but here's the other thing, too. That also it also shows a lack of depth.
Well, yeah. Screaming a lack of depth.
And that was the one thing I think that really got on my nerves, on my final nerve when it came to Mark Kingston. You're starting the injury BS in March. Mark, you were there 5 years.
Well, every year you heard that song.
Right.
That song played every year in March.
And every year my response is, well, who's recruiting these? Who's recruiting their backups? Who's recruiting your backups? And I said this, and again, I get it. Maneri has only been there for less than a year, a calendar year. This is his first season. I would hope the main thing I'm hoping for next year for South Carolina is he goes out and recruits depth.
Well, that's the thing I don't understand. I've looked at the lineups here, and I saw some that the lineups I remember from Kingston's time, and there were kids playing on those teams that were sons of former South Carolina baseball players that all took a turn in the pros. Some by the last name of Cromer.
Yeah. Only the
were,
most legendary name in
yeah, from them over there.
baseball.
You had 2 or 3, and I think there's another one coming this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those kids never saw the field. And I'm just thinking, if you're struggling and you're having problems with talent, and I'm Mark Kingston, and I've got all these injuries, man, you shake that roster up. You start putting people in, giving other people a chance, because there are the off chance you'll find a guy that might not be the greatest practice player in the world, but in a game they're a different person.
Well,
it happens all the time.
Didn't he say was it last year or year before last when Petrie went into a slump? He was scared to take him out of the lineup because he didn't have anybody behind him.
That, and he didn't want to shake Petrie's confidence. And as I recall,
maybe he needed maybe that slump came because of fatigue.
Exactly. And I'm looking at that roster now, and those kids, with the last name of Cromer and others, because there were other kids that were legacy type names in baseball history in this state that never saw the field either. None of those names are on this roster anymore.
Yeah, because they probably all left because they weren't getting playing time.
I don't understand. I understand them leaving because they're not getting the playing time totally.
Yeah.
But I'm still, for the life of me, you don't hear them shaking up that roster. You didn't even see them playing the midweek games where they're playing lesser than.
That's
what bothered me.
That's when you got to play your freshmen and got to play your. Let's go down the scoreboard real quick from last night.
Yes, sir.
Getting back to today, here real quick. Auburn and swept South Carolina 11-10 in game 1 and 11-3 game 2. Charleston Southern did not get their doubleheader finished, by the way. Game 1 went to CSU 8-6. That's bad news for my Winthrop Eagles. Game 2, by the way, Charleston Southern's up on Asheville 16-4, and the only reason why that game's still going on is because they're in the top of the 6th. So Asheville, I think, is batting right now in that one. Clemson 9, Duke 7. Coastal run rules, Louisiana Monroe, and I think that clinched them the number 1 seed in the Sun Belt. Or not Sun Belt. Yeah, the Sun Belt. I actually got it right for once. College of Charleston over North Carolina A&T in extra innings 5-4. Radford 9, Winthrop 8. Upstate 16, Presbyterian 3. It was Western Carolina 11, Citadel 4. Wofford over East Tennessee State 7-5. In the Peach Belt Championship Series, Lander pulls out the brooms against Columbus State. They win the series 2-0 after an 8-3 win. Catawba now leads the South Atlantic Conference Championship Series 1-0 after they defeated Lenore Rhine yesterday 10-3. 3. Florence Darlington Tech, I believe, gets underway today with their series against Hartford. It's Hartford, by the way. They're in Maryland, those of you wondering. Yes, they begin their best of 3 series today for a chance to go to the college, the JUCO, I guess, World Series. Around the ACC last night, Florida State 8, Cal 2. Grand Canyon, yes, the online school, 4, Stanford 3. Louisville dominates Georgia Tech 16-2. NC State pulls game 2 out of their backside, so they'll be playing the rubber game tomorrow, 8-5. Notre Dame 10, Bowling Green nothing. Virginia 6, Miami 1, Wake Forest 12, Pitt 3. And in the Southeastern Conference last night, Florida 8, Texas 2. Georgia takes out Alabama in game 1 by the final of 19-3. Georgia's behind in game 2, 6-2. That's in the top of the 5th. They'll pick that one up here in a couple hours. Kentucky 4, Oklahoma 3. LSU 5, Arkansas 4 with some free baseball. Ole Miss and Mississippi State split a doubleheader. Ole Miss takes game 1, 10-4. Mississippi State takes game 2, 4-1. Tennessee 3, Vanderbilt 2. And things could always be worse, Gamecock fans. You could be Texas A&M, who lost to Missouri last night. Missouri 9, Texas A&M 6. Missouri now 1-24 in the SEC.
Jeez. Yes, thank God for Missouri. You know, I'm looking at their stats. They've got 2 players in the pitching rotation that have a ERA of under 4.
Wow.
2. And those guys, that's Dylan Eskew. Is a 3.45 ERA. His win-loss is 0-2. He's had 8 appearances with 7 saves. And then you've got Parker Marlatt, he's had 21 appearances, no saves. He's 1-0. But 3.75 is his. Everybody else is at 4.55 or higher. I mean, and then it isn't even close. I mean, it jumps from 4.55 to 5.12.
Ooh.
I mean, you got starters like Brandon Stone, Jake McCoy, 6.18 and 6.22 respectively.
Ouch. I'd move their butts to the bullpen.
12 appearances for one and 13 appearances for the other. And those 2 guys are your aces.
No, they'd be sitting in the bullpen right now.
I mean, what else do you do with them? I just do not.
Well,
where did the pitching go?
That's the question. Is it bad pitching or is it bad defense?
I don't think it's all defense. I mean, this guy's been
either,
giving up home runs and base hits and everything else. I mean,
it's nuts.
The game's changed. I mean, it really has. I mean, to a degree, for Maneri to make the comments and people really lambasted him over that, the game has really, really changed.
No,
you have 1 or 2 teams with 1 or 2 standout players, and those were the guys you looked at. And then you'd see a roster every now and then that would come through, like South Carolina had, LSU had a couple of them. Every now and then Florida would have one where you had 4 stars on one roster, that were starting. Now you look at some and you got 9 players that could all go. They could go in the draft tomorrow.
Right.
In the first round.
Right.
I mean, Clemson's got a lineup like that where they've got at least 3, if not 4 players in the starting 9.
Well, I mean,
they could go in the first round.
They've got arguably the number 1 overall pick.
Agreed. And not to mention, their pitching staff has got some people that could go too. Yeah. I can't tell you one right now that will be drafted in the first 10 rounds on South Carolina's roster. I don't think it Lee Croy or what's his name? The big we were talking about earlier.
I mean, I'm about to say, name me one player that's not named Ethan
Petrie.
Yeah. I was about to say, name me one player that's not named Ethan Petrie that you can see playing in the majors on that team.
I don't know. I'm just one that's always been of the belief with baseball. The defense is great to have, and if you're a pitcher, you got to have that golden arm, obviously. But every other position out there, if you don't hit the ball, they don't have a position for you.
Well, the reason why I asked if it was bad defense is because, and I'm looking at this from a pitcher's point of view. If your defense is sucking, the thing that goes through our minds as pitchers is, well, now I have to throw strikes. I have to strike this guy out because I can't rely.
I got nobody behind me.
Yeah, I can't rely on the 8 jokers back behind me to do a darn thing. I got to do it myself. And I think that's what forces a lot of bad pitching.
Yeah, but, also look at these pitchers that come on the mound, at least the pitching they've got this year, and you get a leadoff batter like they did last night. They finally fought back, tied the game up,
mm-hmm.
and then your first batter, you plunk. Then you have a pass ball. That puts him to second.
Yep.
And then another guy comes in. I think you either walked him or he hit a base hit. I mean, it didn't take any time at all, and they had the game won with a walk-off.
Yeah. And believe me, I'm not one of those types that's always going to take the pitcher's side on everything. I don't want anybody to get that confused. I mean, yes, it's still, bad pitching is always going to be bad pitching, but I'm just wondering how much of it is actual, legitimate, maybe this guy doesn't have the talent we think he does versus, well, this guy's, trying to force things he shouldn't be forcing.
Well, when you look at earned runs, though, earned runs are not errors.
No.
So,
it is ridiculous. And, again, we've said it. This is a gaping wound. You can't just put a Band-Aid on this.
No.
And
you've got 2 or 3 players even in conference that are hitting over 300. One or two knocking on the door.
Here's the scary thing, too. You still got a chance to finish in last place.
Yeah, you do.
Now that Missouri's won a game, they're only 4 games behind you.
Your conference pitching, by the way, in ERA, your best pitcher has had 7 appearances and 1 game save, and his ERA is 2.70. Everybody else is 5 or higher.
Good grief.
And that's against SEC opponents. And you cannot do that in the SEC. It will not work in your favor.
Hell, you can't do that in the ACC either.
No. There's not too many conferences you can come in with ERAs higher than 3 and expect to compete.
I was about to say, I don't think you can even do that in the Big South. All right, let's just be honest.
No.
Let's take a phone call. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My ERA in Spencer Jordan's backyard was 1.23, and I struck Woody out at least 12 times.
I think you are drinking this morning, Curtis, or at least you're smoking, or maybe you're sampling the bong water. I'm not sure, but no, that was not the case.
In fact, John Brown hit a long home run off of John McCutcheon, and John McCutcheon got so upset he took the ball and axe and cut it in half.
There was a lot of magic out there on Jordan Memorial Stadium. There's no doubt about it.
It was fun. Right now we're in the process of getting my wife has decided to buy a new king-size bed that actually has plug-in phone chargers in it and outlets in it as well.
Oh, yeah. Almost all the bed frames are like that these days.
I had no idea. The one her grandma passed away a long time ago, and we've had her bed for like 20 years, 25, 30 years old. We've been using that bed, because we've just been changing the mattresses out. But this is a smart mattress. In fact, they sent it in a box about 4 feet tall and about 2 feet wide. And it's a king-size mattress. It's a memory foam mattress stuffed in that box. So evidently when we open the box, it's going to boing out.
No, it won't boing out. It'll gradually release once you open up that plastic around it. You'll be safe.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure it's not like a Jack in the Box.
No.
You
didn't get, Curtis is going to go flying through a window.
Did you get you one of them purple mattresses or something there, Curtis?
I don't know what it is. We're still in the box. We hadn't actually looked at it yet. Right now, my son's in front of me. He's got a nice Toyota Tundra, and he's got all the stuff loaded up for us, and I'm following him to the storage unit where we're putting it.
Okay.
But the reason I called is everyone support the FMU Lady Patriots. If they win today, they will probably host a super regional next weekend.
Oh, they will
Thursday,
definitely
Friday.
host. Yeah, they will definitely host because they're the 1 seed in their pod. Yeah.
Yep, because I've been out there covering the games the last couple of days, and they basically and she's a starting pitcher. She is from Hartsville, and I can't remember her last name, but anyway, she's been dominant these last 2 starts, and they get to play a rematch with Wingate today. It was a 1-0 game going into the bottom of the 6th yesterday until a 3-run double pushed it 4-0. So anyway, it's kind of exciting to watch, and people have been out there supporting them, so it's been kind of nice too. I don't think it's supposed to rain today, so if anyone has time to come out, the game starts at 1. I'll be out there putting them on TV again. So it's just kind of nice to see a local team doing that well. Because remember, the Coker basketball team made it, to the tournament as well. So we got it's like all the women's sports are dominating in the town. The men's sports are kind of lacking a little bit college-wise anyway.
That young lady you're talking about, by the way, is Elisa Poston.
Yep. Alyssa Poston. Yep, Poston. I can't remember her last name. Poston. Yeah, I've interviewed her twice. So she's really she's really quiet, but she's really good. I mean, her stats. I think she's 5'2" or 3", but she can sling it. I mean, that mitt's popping a lot when
she's a lefty.
There, so.
Did we lose you?
Yeah, I'm here. I thought one of you guys were talking.
No, I said she's a left-hander. She's a lefty.
Yeah, she's really good too. So, so I'm rewarding the son with Chick-fil-A today. So,
come on, Dad, you got to spring better.
I normally have Chick-fil-A when I'm calling you on a Saturday morning. I hadn't called in a while because I hadn't really been up this early.
Oh my gosh.
But we're out doing stuff. But anyway, yeah. So go back. If we had the old VHS copies of the games we used to play in Spencer's yard, you would see Woody get struck out through me.
No.
There you go.
No.
Let me know.
Never happened, Curtis. I can tell you it never happened.
It's sitting right beside my Dallas Cowboys last win. It's also on VHS. So, there you go. All right. You guys have fun. I'll catch you later.
All
right, man.
Thanks, Curtis. All right, 843-407-5812. Yeah,
he's not lying about the games though. Those were some pretty intense games back in the day.
Isn't it funny now? Because one of the biggest things on YouTube is a thing called Major League Wiffle Ball.
Mm-hmm. We started that. I mean, back in the day, we were one of the pioneering groups that was doing that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was a lot of fun.
So when Ken Burns does the Wiffle Ball documentary, you're expecting a phone call?
I remember going out. We made that field. We had a grass infield and dirt base lines. I mean, it was like a small major league park. Had a backstop.
Nice.
It was very cool.
Nice. Yeah, and by the way, real quick, when it comes to Francis Marion, yes, if they win one game today, they're going to play. There's a possibility of 2 games. If they all they got to do is win one over Wingate,
and I think they'll do that.
And they should
1 o'clock today.
1 o'clock first pitch. They will face the winner of North Georgia and Lenore-Rhine, and Lenore-Rhine is the only one that has won one game. And I want to say that Francis Marion, that might be their last loss, and it was to Lenore-Rhine, not in the Sally tournament, but in the regular season, I think was their only loss was
They just had to turn and look the other way to have lost that game. You don't win 49 games in a season.
They're up to 51 now.
And up to 51.
And not only that, if you don't want to watch softball, there's some baseball today as well in Florence as Hartford out of Maryland takes on Florence Darlington Tech. That's a doubleheader starting at the top of the hour.
And they're on the road back toward another trip to the World Series, I believe.
If all they got to do is win 2 games.
Yep.
And they are heading back to Grand Junction, Colorado. And hopefully this time, their bats will go with them. Back in a minute.
Are you feeling run down? Struggling to keep up with life's demands? At Practical Purpose Solutions, they're here to help you reset, physically and mentally. Kendra Robinson, family nurse practitioner, and her amazing staff specialize in nutrient infusion therapy, designed to restore your energy and health with up to 100% vitamin absorption. Whether you're battling fatigue, post-cold symptoms, anxiety, or depression, or just need the energy boost, they have the perfect IV infusion for you. From sports recovery to immune support, GI and respiratory recovery, jet lag relief, and even post-surgery aid, their infusions are customized for your specific needs. Or are you looking to enhance your beauty routine, relax and rejuvenate in as little as 45 to 60 minutes? They offer concierge services as well. At Practical Purpose Solutions, book your appointment today at practicalpurposesolutions.com or call 843-799-2210. They're conveniently located at 2011 Second Loop Road, Suite A. Practical Purpose Solutions, where vitality meets convenience.
Hello, everybody. This is Donnie Daniel with Daniel Wealth Management. Who is Daniel Wealth Management? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about us. At Daniel Wealth Management, we care and listen. We strive to protect, manage, and grow your future vision of life. We do this with character, integrity, and confidence as we seek to earn your trust and celebrate life's journeys together.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth.
Hey, it's Tony Zach with Mr. Sparky. Our team is available 24/7. We stand ready to help you with any of your electrical emergencies or your electrical upgrades. We install generators, surge protection, help troubleshoot electrical issues, and much more. Our technicians are drug tested and background checked for your safety. Call us or book online. Mr. Sparky, we'll be right over.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
I'm here with Coach Carter, who just won a game against their biggest rivals. Tell us how you're feeling, Coach.
I'm feeling great. This was a huge win for us tonight, and we couldn't have done it without every single member of the team. It's kind of like FTC's roster of services. Now there's a winning lineup. From internet and wireless to phone, security, and TV, these team players all play a critical role in making FTC your all-in-one technology company.
Now that sounds like a winning combination.
Get in the game with FTC, your all-in-one technology company. Stop by a local FTC store or visit ftc.net.
Your new Chevrolet from Jones Chevrolet comes with our exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Now that's peace of mind. Jones Chevrolet offers their extraordinary 20-year, 200,000-mile powertrain warranty on your new Chevrolet at no cost to you. Plus, at Jones Chevrolet, you won't pay a dealer fee, saving you even more. See us online at joneschevy.com or hurry into Jones Chevrolet in Sumter. More car, less money, guaranteed. Dismiss commercial Corvettes and Supercharged Camaros do not apply. Non-transferable. See dealer for details.
This is Robbie Nally from CRW Insurance. Let's face it, insurance needs are typically not on your mind until a loss occurs. Don't wait for that severe storm or auto accident to determine if you have the right coverage. Let us help you prepare today for tomorrow's unexpected. Simply call 803-775-1168 or stop by our Sumter location at 25 East Calhoun Street or our Manning location at 117 South Brook Street to discuss and review your current insurance needs.
Hey y'all, kick off your weekend the right way at the Golden Saddle, a South Carolina tradition. Start with Thirsty Thursday and keep the fun rolling all weekend long. The Saddle, 2244 Harry Bird Highway in Darlington, and find them on Facebook for all the latest events.
Not all kids with crooked teeth can afford braces. Luckily, there's donated orthodontic services from the American Association of Orthodontists. Kids who qualify can be matched with a volunteer orthodontist. Visit aaoinfo.org.
They're like Elon Musk. Well, they're human. Game day in the Carolinas.
Girl, you taught me how to hurt real bad and cry myself to sleep.
Game day in the Carolinas. I'm Matt. He's Woody.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yes.
I want to throw this out real quick. You do a favor for a friend of ours, Miss Flory Kavanaugh.
Oh, cool. We do anything.
One of our customers, Slowpoke Bait and Tackle. They're having a fish fry today. They're having their 5th year of reopening. They're having a fish fry out. They're hosted by Fast Craft Boats. It's today, and they're located from 12 to 3, 2256 Indian Branch Road in Darlington, South Carolina. So seating is limited. Only one plate per customer, but they're having a bunch of sales. But, hey, it's free fried fish. Go by and see those folks. I know Flory would appreciate that. Slowpoke Bait and Tackle, again, at 2256 Indian Branch Road in Darlington. They got some nice-looking boats out there.
Oh, yeah. That's how you get people out there.
Oh, yeah, man. Free food always brings them in.
It is game day in the Carolinas. You know, we were talking about the pitching problems at South Carolina. Maybe Paul Maneri or somebody on the South Carolina staff. Hopefully they caught a red eye there in Florence today.
Yeah, that isn't happening. Maybe one of the assistants went, but I don't think it'll be Maneri.
Because Mike Joyce is taking the mound for the Stingers here in Game 1. And he's 9-2, 2.34 ERA. And, oh, by the way, did I mention he's thrown a no-hitter this year?
Really?
So you've got a program in Florence, a JUCO program in Florence that regularly now goes to Grand Junction, which is JUCO's version of Omaha, and a school that puts a lot of players in Division I baseball, or even in the major leagues. I mean, a couple of them go the major league route. To me, I wouldn't understand why a team in this state wouldn't be coming to Florence, especially ones that are struggling pitching-wise.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to put feelers out. You got to have people everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it before. We didn't bring him up by name, but the potential number 1 overall pick in the Major League Draft come June plays at Clemson.
Yep.
Where should he be playing, Woody?
Well, he should be playing at South Carolina, but,
yeah,
it's all depending on how you recruited or if you're recruited.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Kingston and his staff didn't believe the hype.
And now he's about to be the number 1 overall pick.
Hey, he had a pretty good game
2.
the other night. I know they struggled in one of their losses, but he had an absolutely web gem moment, robbing a home run ball hit deep the other night, right deep in center field.
Oof.
And then came right back with a huge play. The guy's trying to round third to head home, and it's wet because it was raining. Falls down. Somehow manages to scramble and get up and slide home safely. I mean, it was a contested play, but just, the guy was all over the field. He is a spark plug for that team, and they seem to go how he goes. But tell you what, that kind of attitude is sorely missed. I mean, the South Carolina team, you compare that to Clemson, you compare that to anybody, and winning's fun. There's no doubt about it. But there's even no joy de vivre on this team at South Carolina at all. It's like they're not even happy to be there.
Oh, I know. And you're right, and I'm glad you did that. Compare it to Clemson, who we've seen have, I mean, even in some of their losses, they've put up a fight.
Yeah.
You compare that to Coastal. I mean, think about the circumstances Coastal's playing under this year. It's Kevin Schnall's first year. Now, I know Schnall's been in the program forever. I got
Doesn't
that.
matter.
But Gary Gilmore retires at the end of the year. So, that's already being played under adverse conditions. And now you're seeing a Coastal Carolina team. I don't want to say it, but I do. Woody, this might be a top 8 Coastal Carolina team.
They gave Clemson everything they wanted and more this week.
Yeah. And I mean, I think some of the projections I've seen got them as a 10.
Yeah, they're still ranked, and they're in the top 25 in the nation, have been all season.
They've been ranked. I think they're ranked now higher than Clemson. They should be because they beat them both games.
I don't know what the rankings are.
I think D1 has them top 15, I think. If I'm not mistaken. They're in the top 15 now in D1 baseball, which puts you in pretty good position to get a top 8 seed.
Oh, yeah, and host.
Not just host the regional, host the super.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be the first, I want to say it'd be one of the first times ever Coastal hosted a super regional.
Yeah, so Clemson's dropped down to 9th. They were as high as 3rd at one time.
Hell, some of them had them at 2.
They got Coastal at 14 right now, and that's D1.
D1, okay.
And it just depends on which one you buy more, put the most
Well, we put the most
in.
stock into D1 because that's the official poll of the NCAA.
But see, they still got Florida State, North Carolina. I just don't.
And they're good teams. They're good teams. They're not great teams. I mean, outside of Texas, can you sit there and point to any one team that you think is a deadbolt lock?
No.
For Omaha.
I can't put Texas as a lock for Omaha. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
With this kind of talent, who's playing up, who's not. I mean, Georgia's a team I wouldn't want to face at any period in time right now.
Oh, Georgia's dangerous.
Because it's just, if the right Georgia team shows up, you in for a long night.
You know what? I'm dead serious when I say this. Georgia reminds me a lot of Florida basketball this year.
Yeah.
This might be a team you blow out by 10. You can run rule this team. But, boy, when they're on, they can win a national championship.
And, the defending title Tennessee.
Tennessee
is still a team.
They're
Depends on how they're feeling that night, which team shows up. But I tell you, I wouldn't want to play any of them.
No, I mean, this is going to be stacked. And you are right, because you're always going to get that team. You're going to get a Dallas Baptist. You're going to get a UConn. You're going to get what's the other one around here?
Well, NC State and Louisville are two other teams from the ACC side that just, if they show up and they get hot at the right time, look out.
Yeah, I mean, NC State handled North Carolina last night.
Yeah, you might as well go ahead and load the bus.
I mean, this is This has got to be one of the deepest fields I've ever seen.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And where all this talent's coming from all at once is beyond me. Now, some of these schools are bringing them in from overseas. I think you're seeing some foreign players starting to emerge, too.
I would agree with that. I would agree completely with that, especially the, Asian players.
You got some from Central America, too.
A lot of Latin players, yeah. Because they see that now in the age of the NIL, I think what they see is they could probably make more money playing in college. And I'm talking about usually the Latin players.
Yeah.
They see more money playing in college than they would. Because people forget, when you play minor league baseball, it's like, what, $2,000 or something like that. Heck, if you got any sentiment of talent the way the NIL is going, and this is one of the positive qualities of the NIL.
Yeah.
Is
it helps some players out.
It does.
We keep them taking that $2,000 paycheck. Because, a lot of it, too, is your signing bonus that you get when you head to the minors with the program.
Right. So now you get used to the American way of baseball. You get play in the country for a while, so you're not lost, and you're probably making more money than you would play minor league ball. So that right there is another reason. I hate to say it, but that's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
The NIL is done. I know a lot of people never want to see a good thing when it comes to the NIL and just make it all doom and gloom. But that it does have its positive qualities.
Well, I know we're heading to the top of the hour. Probably need to get a break here because we got to get our ID in and all that. But want to remind our listeners, too, by the way, that we will not have a show next Saturday.
Yes, we should point that out.
We'll be back on the 24th. Got some things going on in our lives we've got to take care of, at least in mine. So I'm kind of imposing my will on the show, and I don't think Matt wants to sit in here without me. He gets lonely. But you decided to go out and do some things, too. Did you decide on which sporting event you were going to try to?
Well, I was going to finish the novel.
You were going to finish the novel? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go run with the Bulls or do some other exciting form of.
And, just in case that weird female fan decides.
Yeah, to show up.
To show up and wants to finish the book for me.
Well, the ones who've been calling me, I tell them to call you. I'm taken.
Okay.
So.
Well,
I think the wife would appreciate that too much.
Line forms to the left, ladies. I will be doing credit checks. Mine's so bad, I'm going to drag yours down.
Yeah.
All right, we need to get to a break. It is Game Day in the Carolinas. I'm Matt. He's Woody. 843-407-5812. Back in a minute.
Nothing says tradition like your hometown Piggly Wiggly. Take it from the pig. When it comes to value and freshness, you can't beat Piggly Wiggly. They've been bringing home the bacon for millions of American families for over 100 years. Today, they're one of the best-known and best-loved brands in America. Stop by your local Piggly Wiggly today and take home the freshest meats, vegetables, and produce, along with great deals on all your favorite brands. Each week, the pig features new specials, perfect for your tailgating parties and family mealtime. When car trouble strikes, remember Tim's Auto Pro is here to make your life easier. They offer complete preventative maintenance and full automotive repair on most makes and models, including imports, at rates that won't break the bank. Is your AC on the fritz? They can service it. Need a front-end alignment? They got you covered. Tire pressures monitoring system acting up? Go see them. When life gets busy and car trouble strikes, remember Tim's Auto Pro, the only place to go. 2685 Peach Orchard Road in Dalzell. Online at timsautopro.com.
In the heart of South Carolina, where the spirit of celebration thrives, there's a place unlike any other. Mickey Finn's your one-stop party destination with 3 locations, Cashua Drive, Pamplico Highway, and their huge beverage warehouse on Dr. Johnny Bruce Road next to Buc-ee's. Step into a world of endless possibilities where the shelves are filled with the largest selection of beer, wine, and liquor, each bottle carrying its own story of flavor and enjoyment. Sign up today for Mickey Finn's customer rewards. Mickey Finn says, we drink all we can and sell the rest.
Mark your calendar. The Cowboys are saddling up and heading our way. The BC Society and Community Broadcasters present the 28th Annual Black Cowboy Rodeo, sponsored by Don't Scream, Call Akeem Anastapulo Law Firm. Dial 800-777-7777. The Black Cowboy Rodeo on May 24th. Get ready for heart-pounding rodeo action at its best. That's May 24th at Greenfield Farms in Rembert. Don't miss out. Call 800-499-9658 to purchase tickets.
South Carolina listeners in the Midlands and the PD have saved thousands of dollars on products and services provided by local businesses at carolinasaves.com. 100% of every item on carolinasaves.com is at least 50% off. There's restaurants, health and beauty products, entertainment items, and so much more. It's worth it to check out the website and bookmark it on your device because new items are added every week. Every day, listeners save cash at carolinasaves.com. Go there now, carolinasaves.com.
Trust DPM Property Maintenance for professional landscape design and installs on new and existing properties, commercial and residential. From irrigation system installs and upgrades to stunning outdoor lighting and audio, DPM prioritizes quality over quantity. They never rush through a job, making sure it's done right the first time, every time. Call Tyler Davison today at 843-617-2038 for your free estimate. Find them on Facebook at Davison Property Maintenance, LLC. DPM Davison Property Maintenance, bringing your vision to life with trust and quality.
If you're serious about fishing, or if you fish just for fun, you need to check out Slowpoke Bait and Tackle, the PD's one-stop shop for everything you need to reel in the big one. They've got the best brands, including Mad Cats, Ugly Stick, Penn, and more. They've also got the largest selection of live and frozen bait lures and even customizable South Carolina-made boats like Warrior and Hartsville's own Fastcraft. Financing available. See Slowpoke for details. Looking for the perfect gift? Don't waste time driving to Florence or the beach. Shop local for the best selection and prices. They've got gift cards, a large selection of apparel and hats, and they're getting more in every week. Brands like Simply Southern, Haybo, Good Old Boys, Hook'em Boots and Bibs, Lucky 7 Straw Hats, and more. And it's not just fishing gear. They carry snacks, chicken bog seasoning, Lucas oil, and more. Visit them at 2256 Indian Branch Road in Darlington. Open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week. Check out slowpokebaitandtackle.com and follow them on Facebook for weekly giveaways.
At Practical Purpose Solutions, your health and wellness is their priority. Need a quick and convenient solution? Book your telehealth visit today, all from the comfort of your home. Need a DOT physical or sports physical? They are perfect for parents looking to avoid long wait times. If you're looking for quality primary care, insured or uninsured, and with a reliable physician, contact them. Feeling run down? Their concierge hydration service comes to you within 30 miles. Groups are welcome. Whether you're battling fatigue, cold symptoms, or if you just need an energy boost. Even personalized nutrition plans and supplements for skin conditions like eczema and dry skin. Try their medically supervised fat dissolving services for targeted areas like the abdomen or chin. Ready to feel your best? Book your appointment today at practicalpurposesolutions.com or call 843-799-2210. Located at 2011 Second Loop Road, Suite A. Practical Purpose Solutions.
Whoa, this isn't the Pride Lands, it's the Florence Flamingos ballpark, and it's wild out here.
Kid, it's a feast. All you can eat chicken, sandwiches, burgers, hot dogs, chips, and unlimited Pepsi products. Hakuna Matata, baby. I'm stuffed already, and we haven't even hit the third inning.
Fun for all ages, exciting theme nights, and even fireworks. This place is awesome.
Everything the light touches is Flamingos baseball.
Don't just sit there. Grab your tickets, bring the fam, and flamingle with the pride.
You don't need to be the king of the jungle to enjoy some family fun with your Florence Flamingos. Gather the family for food, fireworks, and family fun with the Florence Flamingos all summer long. For tickets and information, visit FlorenceFlamingos.com. Coastal Plain League Baseball with the Florence Flamingos.
Let's flamingo!
Ready to ignite your drive? The best Toyota deals are here at Florence Toyota. We're not just turning heads, we're breaking records with deals that can't be beat. We'll crush any other Toyota dealer's offer or pay you $500 guaranteed. No dealer fees, no payments for 90 days on any new Toyota. Zero down and just $389 a month for a 2025 Tacoma lease or a Cruise Away in a brand new Tundra for only $469 a month. Plus, save up to $8,000 on select Toyota trucks. Don't wait. Florence Toyota's deals are always just bigger and just better. Shop 24/7 at FlorenceToyota.com or swing by 2300 West Palmetto Street in Florence. See dealer for complete details and specific stock numbers.
This is Robbie Nally from CRW Insurance. Let's face it, insurance needs are typically not on your mind until the loss occurs. Don't wait for that severe storm or auto accident to determine if you have the right coverage. Let us help you prepare today for tomorrow's unexpected. Simply call 803-775-1168 or stop by our Sumter location at 25 East Calhoun Street or our Manning location at 117 South Brook Street to discuss and review your current insurance needs.
Hey, y'all, kick off your weekend the right way at the Golden Saddle, a South Carolina tradition. Start with Thirsty Thursday and keep the fun rolling all weekend long. The Saddle, 2244 Harry Bird Highway in Darlington, and find them on Facebook for all the latest events.
The Mega Memorial Day sale is happening all month long at High Point Furniture, and it's bigger than ever. Huge discounts on sofas, sectionals, bedrooms, mattresses, and more. With quality service and unbeatable selection you can trust. Enjoy 0% financing, 0 down, and no credit needed with just $5 down. Don't miss out. The savings are on fire all month at High Point Furniture in Florence at 1916 West Evans Street and in Sumter at 873 Broad Street. High Point Furniture, your home for style, savings, and service. Community broadcasters will partner with the AET 3rd Judicial Circuit to remind you to plan a safe and sober graduation. The choice is yours. This message is brought to you by the AET, Law Enforcement, Prevention Specialist. Plan a safe and sober graduation.
WOLH Florence and WDXY Sumter. It's game day in the Carolinas.
Don't we all?
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. It's Game Day of the Carolinas. I'm Matt. He's Woody. 843-407-5812. 843-407-5812. And over the break, Woody, I've got my latest realization that I'm old.
Yeah, I get them all the time, so welcome to the club.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it started with hearing bands that I listened to in high school in the classic rock station, which, by the way, the first time that ever happened to me, I actually had to stop what I was doing going, no. No.
Yeah.
Here's the new one for you. It's on South Carolina. Yes, we're actually going to talk 2 seconds of recruiting here. There is a 2027 quarterback that is on South Carolina's radar. His name is Gunnar Rivers.
He's got the perfect quarterback name.
That he does. And, Woody, do you know who Gunnar Rivers' father is?
Yes, because you had to make sure you shared the old alarm with me. It is Philip Rivers' son, his oldest. And it's just hard to believe Philip, having only been out of the league now, 2 years, maybe 3? Has he been out that long?
If that long.
Has got a son now being recruited heavily by not just South Carolina, but a handful of other schools. Is top 2 prospect in his class?
He's something like, it's only a 3-star quarter, whatever stars mean.
Yeah.
Actually, he's a 4-star.
Well, it just means you haven't been to enough camps that they're sponsoring to get the other stars. You got to pay for that.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, 247 has him ranked as the number 2 quarterback in the country. His college list right now is Auburn, Boston College, Miami, NC State, and South Carolina. Excuse me. I don't think he's going to North Carolina. I think Dad would actually disown him.
Probably. I feel like you'll see him somewhere like Auburn, or maybe Miami.
It goes to show that I have been in the business too long, because I've been in the business long enough to see Philip Rivers' career begin in college and end in the NFL. And now his son is about to be recruited.
You hit rinse and repeat for the son. Now, you can't assume he's going to have the same prolific career that his dad had, but it's just interesting. I mean, I just find it hard to believe. But, I mean, you think about it now. We didn't do the same thing with Shadur Sanders. Or Shiloh and Coach Sanders. I don't know why. I didn't think it didn't hit me quite as
well, because I mean, you know why it's hit me this hard? Because of what I just said. I've been in this business. I've been in radio. Philip Rivers' entire career. I mean, at least I was in high school. I was in elementary school when Deion Sanders was in college.
Yeah.
I mean, so. Okay, I think that doesn't make you freak out as much as, oh my God, I have been an adult long enough to watch his son being recruited.
I mean, I actually watched Phillip Rivers play, I believe. Because they came and played South Carolina a time or two.
Yep. And I believe he played under Chuck Amato.
Yeah.
At NC State.
The chest.
Yes. With the sunglasses.
But, yeah, it's kind of odd. And it's interesting to me, too. I can't remember, though. What was 247 Sports ranking of Lenora Sellers back in the day coming out of high school? 2-star?
I want to say 3. Let's see. Well, see if I can't pull it up real quick. But to show you how much these stars.
Yeah, just to show you.
Yeah. Lenoris was a 3-star.
See, it was a 3, and they're giving Gunner 4.
Yep. Which, by the way, he was the 7th best. Lenore Sellers was the 7th best quarterback in his class in the state of South Carolina.
I'm sorry. I'm not buying that.
Yeah. No, not in the nation, in the state.
In the state.
What'd he do again?
I don't know.
Only led South Florence to what?
Like a perfect record.
Perfect record and 2 state championships, winning one of them.
So,
yeah.
The star ratings, again, don't play anything. What you look at now is what he's done on his resume in college, as well as, potential now. They're talking like he's, definitely going to be a top draft pick next year if he were to choose to go that way.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of teams out there, including your Jets, that would be absolutely salivating to get his services. So,
I would definitely want to.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry if we kill your career, but.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all.
Well, there's only 2 teams right now in the NFL you want to avoid if you want a career, and that's the Jets and the Panthers. But,
come on now. It's not that bad. But
it's still the Jets.
It's still kind of, it did hit me when you said that about, and I don't know why. Hearing Phillip Rivers' son is now coming out of high school and is being recruited heavily. It did hit me. It's like, man, really? But I didn't think twice about it with Dion. And Dion, I'm a couple years ahead of you.
Yeah.
I mean, Dion was, he was the thing when I was in high school. I mean, he was the guy everybody wanted to be.
But that's the thing, isn't it? You were in high school.
Yeah.
You weren't an adult.
Well, I guess that's true.
Like I said, I think that's why it hits me with Phillip Rivers so much. Is I'm an adult. I've been an adult his entire career.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, at least with Dion, I was in elementary school when he was in that Florida State.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I mean, I see where that I could buy that.
But holy jumping. I thought I would. But see, here's the whole thing, right? And then you look at some of the things, and again, we talk about star rankings. Well, here's one that says where NC State stands with 5-star legacy quarterback Gunner Rivers.
He's a 5-star on that one.
He's a 5-star on one. He's a 4-star on another. And if you wonder why we don't talk a lot about recruiting, this is why. This is exactly why. Because is he a 5-star? Is he a 4-star? What? And does it really matter? Because I remember some kid who Steve Spurrier signed coming out of high school that was a 3-star.
Yeah.
I don't know whatever happened to this kid. Some kid named Sidney Rice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a 3-star.
Speaking of highly recruited people, you saw that our South Carolina's former big all-time defensive guy, Jadeveon Clowney, was cut by the Panthers this week.
It might be the best thing for his career.
Oh, gosh. You're so down on the Panthers today, man. Good Lord.
Well, I'm only going by what I've seen over the last 5 years.
Well, I'm going to probably say something may anger some people, and I don't mean to, but
that'll make people mad.
I'm not really surprised that he was necessarily cut.
No, I'm not.
I find Jadavion's career kind of disappointing.
Because he was that kid, right? And we said this even when he was at South Carolina. He's that kid. He's the Ferrari. He's a Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
He looks great. Can dominate the underwear Olympics.
Yeah.
Obviously had a good college career, picked number 1 overall. But he breaks down a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call his career a bust. I wouldn't say he's a bust, but he's just underachieved.
That's a great word for it, underachieved. And how many times we've had NFL GMs and NFL coaches that have come out and said, if this kid would take the game seriously.
Yeah, that was the whole problem.
Yeah, he would be one of the greatest edge rushers of all time.
I mean, I think he could have he'd be one of those guys you put up on the Mount Rushmore of defensive players. I think you could have done that with him had he had that kind of career. And that's what I'm disappointed for him. It's not that because he seemed like such a good guy.
And you're right. By all accounts, he's fun loving. He just wants to hang out with people.
He's just a jokester. He's a guy that you don't. They say you don't turn your head on him because like you sit down to eat a dinner with him. They said you check the tops on the salt and pepper shakers before you use them because he's unloosened them already, and you'll dump that all over your meal. He's a prankster, and there's nothing. I like guys like that. I like people like that.
Absolutely.
But
it just comes to a point where all you're being asked to do is for 4 hours a day or 4 hours a week. Just be serious. You know? How many times have we had that sit down with the bosses, right? Hey, listen, if you just, I don't care what you do outside of work. It's just, as long as you're at work, just work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of been the whole thing with Jadeveon. It's just, but hey, I mean, you're right, though. It's not like he's some scrub that flamed out after 3 years. It's just what we saw at South Carolina and what we've seen in the pros have been kind of two different things.
Well, I mean, I could make the argument you didn't really see it at South Carolina. You had a big hit in a bowl game that everybody remembers, which even Spurrier chalked up to a missed assignment.
Yeah.
By the opposing team.
No, you're right.
You know, he played when he wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
But he was such a big guy, you really couldn't tell him no because you needed him.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's the downside of talented people is like, you know, you need them and you know, but you don't want to really make them mad.
Yeah.
You know? All right, let's take a phone call. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Gentlemen, how we doing this morning?
Hey, Lee.
Hi, Lee. How are you?
Just got something I need to get off my brain. It has nothing to do with sports. If you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay.
I was at a grocery store yesterday working. Like you said, man, nothing wrong with work. No matter what your job is, work is honorable, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was out in an aisle working, and this dude comes by in the buggy and just pushes me right out of the way. He's wearing a T-shirt and pajama pants and flip-flops. To the grocery store.
That sounds like the typical grocery store outfit these days.
My thought come to my brain says the man right sitting here demanding respect, but how do you respect somebody who refuses to even get dressed to go to the store?
I don't know. I mean, that's now you know why I Instacart a lot of things there, Lee.
I mean, it's getting really bad. Grown men don't even dress like men anymore. They dress like kids, and to me, that shows a lack of self-respect. Well, you don't even have enough self-respect to comb your hair. You don't have enough self-respect to put on a pair of pants to go to the grocery store. I mean, what in the world is our society coming to?
Well, on the flip side, some people might applaud that, Lee, by saying, you know, that this is a person that's obviously matured in their process or their way of thought, that they don't have to impress anyone else. They're not here for anybody else that way. And they can be who they want to be.
Although although I will say this, the pushing out the way
that bothers me more than the dress.
Concerns me a lot more because I've kind of noticed that lately too.
Yeah,
like not just in stores, but even in driving now.
Yeah,
I mean, people will just swerve over into your lane. They don't care anymore about letting you know. And damn turn signals have gotten out of control.
That's true. The lack of.
Yeah, the lack of turn signals gotten out of control. Everybody on the damn phone. Which, by the way, get off the damn phone if you're driving.
Yeah, that's my biggest argument.
Oh, that's another pet peeve of mine. Somebody in the store with the phone on the speaker, and they gotta let everybody in the store hear their conversation.
Yes, thank you.
I'm with you there too.
Well,
and they stand there at the register checking out. Like they're oblivious to anybody in front of them or behind them, and stay on the phone the whole time.
Yeah.
And there's the people wearing pajama pants too, probably.
Well, and here's the other thing too. I've noticed when it comes to the, you know how you can put your Bluetooth in and it goes through the car radio?
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Right.
Why do you have to jack up the car radio to? I can hear your conversation with your windows up, and it's like I'm in the car with you.
Yeah, I see that a lot of that in the grocery store parking lot. Yeah.
Oh my, that's ridiculous. It's infuriating. This is why I don't go out a lot of places, people.
And if you're driving on a 4-lane highway, the right lane is for you guys that want to drive 30 and a 55, not the left lane.
Yeah, I've been fussing about that for a long time. You can ask my wife. Feel sorry for her.
Yes. Well, I would love it if the people who want to drive 20 to go get their McDonald's coffee in the morning would just not drive in the morning. Period.
That's just something that is aggravating me, because once I start talking about Gamecock athletics, there's nothing really to talk about.
Well, that's true. At least not right now. No, softball, women's softball team's doing pretty good, I guess.
You I think, you got knocked out of the SEC.
They did.
Do you really want to hang your head on women's softball? But
hey, that's a big deal. It's starting to really pick up.
A natty's a natty.
Yep. Take natties any way we can get them.
At least we won equestrian and golf, so I guess that's okay.
Hey, it's a national championship, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, you're knocked out by Texas A&M, by the way.
What's that?
I said you were knocked out of the SEC tournament by Texas A&M.
Oh, cool. Okay. Anyway, she has turned that program around, and they did have a good year, so, yeah, kudos to her for that. But,
yeah.
But maybe if we can get Dawn Staley to coach the men's basketball team and get this Chastain lady to coach the baseball team, and maybe we'll turn it around. What do you think?
I guess anything's possible.
Anyway, guys, y'all have a good weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there.
Thank you, Deacon.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, y'all have a good weekend.
You
You too. 843-407-5812. See, we talk about anything on this show.
I mean, I saw them this morning when I was picking up breakfast, parents leading their kids now out of the Chick-fil-A or wherever I was, and the kids all in their pajamas.
Yeah, why not?
It's like my parents wouldn't let us do that for nothing.
You're comfortable, man.
You saw me in my pajamas out in Publix because I was coming home from the hospital or I'd been sick or something. It wasn't had nothing to do with this is the leisure outfit I choose, But
well, I mean, it's comfortable. So I try not to, judge people by the way they dress because that's just me. But I do agree though, pushing people out the way and then blocking up lanes.
Just walk right through you. I've had that flat out happen to me a few times.
And these people who block up lanes because, we got to catch up. Stop.
Well,
please.
Some do it to prove a point. They want to make sure that, you're driving like they are because they're the epitome of the safe driver.
Oh, don't get me started on them.
I know.
Don't get me started on them. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have to deal with them here in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, me and you both.
When we go home. But yes, South Carolina women's, by the way, did get knocked out by Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. It is Oklahoma and Texas A&M going to play for the SEC championship today in women's softball. Francis Marion will be looking to move on to the Super Regional today in softball as well. All they got to do is win one game. And again, here's another good reason to go out and support FMU women's women's softball.
Yep.
You're in and out. Some of those games are less than 2 hours long. So if you're looking to do something for an hour, hour and a half.
It's a bad idea. I was just trying to sit here and think, how could I fit that into my schedule today?
Yeah, get that entertainment going. I'm sure it's on ESPN Plus.
Because I would like to go. I'd like to go see the game.
Oh yeah, I mean softball games are fun to go to because you get this is what you don't get in the men's game, right? In softball, you got the girls or the women too because they do it in college. But I'm just remembering it from my high school days. They'd be singing and chanting and cheering. They were from the dugout, and you're just like, why can't you see that on the men's side?
This is a completely different environment than what baseball was.
Absolutely, like going to a softball game. I highly recommend it. If you want to go to a softball game, I highly recommend you do, because it's a boatload of fun, and you're not going to be there very long.
Yeah,
depending on depending on the type of team. I mean, I remember there were some South Florence Hannah Pamplico games that lasted about 30 minutes. Because they'd be up 15-0.
Yeah, didn't take long.
No, and you only get to play 3. You know, when you get I think they still had the 15-run rule too, where you're up 15 after 3. That's it.
Yeah, they don't play around now with that.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, we got some good local sports coming up today.
Yeah, if you want something to do, it's definitely there.
Absolutely. I have not gotten your thoughts on this yet. Speaking of local sporting teams, the new nickname for the hockey team is out.
Yep, Ice Cats I thought was great. I think it's a good name.
I think the logo looks good too.
Me too. I like the logo a lot.
That is such a good logo. So it's going to be fun coming up this fall.
I need to look at getting some tickets.
Absolutely. Again, we're just looking at a whole bunch of things. I mean, this is where we're. You know what's really nice about today? And we're probably going to ruin it here in a couple of minutes. We haven't talked about a certain person.
Man, I knew you were going to go there. That's fine. Go there.
Nah. I
don't care.
I got a better story. I just wanted to mention that we have not talked about her today. Because she seems to be, who gets more headlines these days, Woody? Her or NIL?
She's getting them, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. But in fact, let's go ahead and take a break. I don't know where I've lost my train of thought. That's all I'm gonna say. My train of thought just went bye-bye. It's not noon yet. All right, we'll be back here in a couple of minutes.
This weekend, saddle up and head on out to the Golden Saddle, the PD's favorite spot for live music, great food, and good times that just doesn't quit. Friday night, the stage is set for the legendary duo Joe and Johnette, bringing the heat with saddle karaoke. Whether you can carry a tune or just carry the mic, sing it loud, sing it proud. Saturday, they're cranking it up with no fun allowed. Spoiler alert, they bring nothing but fun. You do not want to miss this show. And don't forget, the grill is hot and the drinks are cold. Come hungry and try the famous 14-ounce saddle steak, cooked to perfection and served with all the fixings. It's big enough to share, but we won't judge if you don't. The Golden Saddle, located at 2244 Harrybird Highway in Darlington. Doors open at 7 and the party goes till you can't dance anymore. The Golden Saddle, where the weekend rides in loud, proud, and full of flavor.
Hey, it's Tony Zach with Mr. Sparky. If you are thinking about buying a whole house generator this year, then it's a great time to buy one. Briggs & Stratton are American made and have a 10-year warranty. Right now, we are offering a $500 credit or a Visa card towards the purchase of a Briggs & Stratton generator. We have plenty of inventory. This deal ends May 31st. Call us, Mr. Sparky. We'll be right over.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
I'm here with Coach Carter, who just won a game against their biggest rivals. Tell us how you're feeling, Coach.
I'm feeling great. This was a huge win for us tonight, and we couldn't have done it without every single member of the team. It's kind of like FTC's roster of services. Now there's a winning lineup. From internet and wireless to phone, security, and TV, these team players all play a critical role in making FTC your all-in-one technology company.
Now that sounds like a winning combination.
Get in the game with FTC, your all-in-one technology company. Stop by a local FTC store or visit ftc.net.
Are you tired of hearing strange noises coming from your car? Do you need to get your vehicle serviced but don't have time to do it yourself? Look no further than Tim's Auto Pro. Their highly skilled, certified technicians have years of experience and are equipped with the latest tools to get your car running like new again. They offer a variety of services, from routine maintenance to major repairs, at competitive prices. Don't let car problems stress you out any longer. Tim's Auto Pro, the only place to go. 2685 Peach Orchard Road in Dazzell, or online at timsautopro.com.
In the heart of South Carolina, where the spirit of celebration thrives, there's a place unlike any other. Mickey Finn's your one-stop party destination, with 3 locations: Cashua Drive, Pamplico Highway, and their huge beverage warehouse on Dr. Johnny Bruce Road next to Buc-ee's. Step into a world of endless possibilities, where the shelves are filled with the largest selection of beer, wine, and liquor, each bottle carrying its own story of flavor and enjoyment. Sign up today for Mickey Finn's customer rewards. Mickey Finn says, "We drink all we can and sell the rest."
Are you feeling run down? Struggling to keep up with life's demands? At Practical Purpose Solutions, they're here to help you reset, physically and mentally. Kendra Robinson, family nurse practitioner, and her amazing staff specialize in nutrient infusion therapy, designed to restore your energy and health with up to 100% vitamin absorption. Whether you're battling fatigue, post-cold symptoms, anxiety, or depression, or just need the energy boost, they have the perfect IV infusion for you. From sports recovery to immune support, GI and respiratory recovery, jet lag relief, and even post-surgery aid, their infusions are customized for your specific needs. Or are you looking to enhance your beauty routine, relax and rejuvenate in as little as 45 to 60 minutes? They offer concierge services as well. At Practical Purpose Solutions, book your appointment today at practicalpurposesolutions.com or call 843-799-2210. They're conveniently located at 2011 Second Loop Road, Suite A. Practical Purpose Solutions, where vitality meets convenience.
One of them is banned from every message board in the world. The other is Woody. It's game day in the Carolinas.
It is Game Day in the Carolinas. I'm Matt. He's Woody. And, we got some breaking-ish news, don't we?
Yeah, from the New Orleans Saints Twitter feed, Derek Carr's announced his retirement.
See, Derek Carr's another player just like Clowney. We thought coming out of college he was going to be the next best thing, and then he gets drafted by the Texans. And
that was his old
Derek went to the Raiders. That's right.
And he had a decent career there.
Yeah. Had a decent career and went to New Orleans, was the starter, but that would mean Spencer Rattler's got to be the starter in New Orleans.
Yeah, he's had 11 seasons as a starter in the NFL. I mean, it's the injuries. I mean, the shoulder kept, I think, failing him. Because you go to certain teams that can't protect you, and that's what happens.
Exactly.
Ask his older brother. I mean, he went to the Texans, and he found that out quick, fast, and hard.
Yep.
So.
All right, back to college for a second. The football championship subdivision, as we know, 1AA, is now going to start playing 12 games, starting in 2026. Now, aren't we told, I mean, isn't there this push, this whining? You remember all the whining that used to happen in the FBS subdivision, which we could just drop the F, and that's what that subdivision is, about, we can't have a playoff because that's too much football. That's too much football. They're playing too many games. Isn't that what we're always heard? Why we can't go to 16 is they're playing too many games.
Remember, player safety was at the heart of all that.
Oh, yeah, player safety. Yeah.
That was the whole thing with the new breaks this past, 2 seasons ago?
Mm-hmm.
They announced all that, player safety. Exposing that time on the field would eliminate them being exposed to injury.
So it's okay for FBS. But we're down at the FCS level. Oh, they can play a 2014 playoff and have a 12-game regular season schedule.
I've got nothing for that.
I know. But yes, if you have not heard, the FCS are now going to be playing 12 games. The recommendation provides for a standard 13-week schedule, which opens in the final Thursday in August each year. We're now playing college football in August. Of course, I mean, I know we got week 0 games, but usually they're like, in Ireland and usually cooler climates. So now we're going to start in late August for FCS, have a 13-week schedule with a bye, and 2014 playoff. That's okay for them, right? Not okay for the big boys.
No, not at all.
Yeah, not okay for the pampered FBS.
Well, and you got to mention, you can't play any preseason games or spring games against one another either.
Right.
That would be the unfair advantage, whatever that means.
Whatever that means. Never mind the fact that also ESPN is going to throw $60 to $80 million to the SEC to play 9 conference games. 9 conference games.
And you got the same thing going on in basketball with the ACC swapping out a game or two now.
ACC is dropping down to 18, which to me is BS. Because
no, they're being like everybody else, though.
Well, here's why I say it's BS, because it's an 18-team league.
Well, yeah.
So that means you're not going to play everybody in your league, because remember, you play, was it 17, right? You play the other 17, you play 17 teams once, or 16 teams once, and then you have a designated opponent you play home and home. This is why I'm glad. Now, again, I don't want to drag politics into this, but I am. But it is germane to the conversation.
I don't know, but go ahead.
But I'm about to, you know where I land politically, Woody, and I'm about to blow your mind for a second. I agree with Donald Trump.
Oh, Lord.
I actually am in favor of this committee. I am in favor of this college athletics committee. It's going to be headed by Nick Saban and one of the bigwig Texas Tech boosters.
Well, I think it should be. I mean, they need to have people like that. I think Nick will do a good job.
And one of their focuses, obviously, their main focus is going to be bringing NIL under sanity, if you can call anything related to NIL sanity, or bringing it back to where we thought it was going to be when they got NIL. But the other focus, and this is why I'm loving the committee. The other focus is on conference realignment, namely intercontinental conferences. Because I don't think anybody's got a problem with football doing it, because they charter, the expenses are, I get that the poor guy in the truck going to have to go cross country a couple times. But why? And this is what we have said. How many times, Woody? How many times have we said it? Why does the volleyball team have to go from Syracuse to Miami on a Wednesday night?
Yeah.
To play a game? Why do they have to go from Miami to San Francisco? Let's just be honest about Stanford. You're basically going out to San Francisco. Why do they have to go from Miami to San Francisco on a random Tuesday afternoon?
Well, that makes sense. They're going to realign that. I think you have to. I mean, it's just, that's too much.
Well, even if we get this separate college football super league we keep hearing about, right? I think they're even going to go, look, Clemson should not be playing California. And Rutgers should not be going all the way to Los Angeles to go play Southern Cal. I even think they're going to put, at some point, regional pods, I guess you would say, where regional divisions, where like Clemson and South Carolina would end up playing. Because I think at that point, that's going to be it for conferences in football. Conferences will exist for every other sport, but conferences for football will just not be a thing. And I think what you'll see is Clemson, South Carolina, Georgia Tech, Georgia, Florida State, Miami. They'd probably all play in a pod, or you bring in the North Carolina schools. They'd all play in a pod, that sort of thing. And I think you have regional pods at that point, and you can keep a lot of good regional rivalries that way too.
I agree.
But there is no reason why the ACC should be having to go to South Bend, Indiana, Dallas, Texas, San Francisco, Berkeley, California. Why? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, it's gotten out of control, obviously, because of the football money. And, hopefully this committee will help bring some sense to that. This might be one of the few things I just don't like government interference in this kind of stuff, but in this case, this might actually work.
Woody, I'm actually with you. I don't like government interference, but I think if this committee can come out with suggestions.
Yeah.
And even suggestions that the NCAA could put in. It doesn't even have to be, hey, we need to pass a law, XYZ.
Yeah.
Hey, NCAA, this is what you need to do. This is what the NCAA should be doing.
Agreed.
And
but they've got to also figure out, though, a way to enforce this kind of stuff, because every time you make an enforcement, you just lawyer up and it gets dropped or pushed away. That's got to change.
Because shockingly, I know not a lot of people know this, but there are rules in the NIL. It's just, here's the thing about it. If you have rules and they're not being enforced, are they really rules?
No.
Exactly.
They're not even good guidelines at that point.
No, because tampering's a rule. You're not even supposed to talk to these kids until they get into the transfer portal. But isn't it funny, Woody? The day the transfer portal opens, half these kids already know where the hell they're going.
Yep. They've already got a destination the day after they've entered the portal. That's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, and there's supposed to be rules where they're, well, we're not talking to them directly. No, but there's also Cam Newton rules. You're not supposed to be talking to mama and dad. Well, we're not talking to mama and dad either.
Yeah.
Are you talking to somebody?
And you hear the announcers say it all the time. They need to go find them a quarterback. They need to make a strong offer. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. The money is associated. It's not supposed to be coming from the school. So how can the coach offer money that they don't supposedly have?
See, that's the other thing too, right?
And they say it all the time, and no one ever calls them on that because it's not supposed to be run by the university.
This is why I've always said we need the Olympic model, because the Olympic model. Now, let me get a part about what I'm going to say and say this. The only thing I want the schools involved with when it comes to NIL is to vet the boosters. That's it. Because I said this during the weekday show, and I'm going to say it here. I know why this story isn't being covered as much as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Because of all the betting, how all the CBS and NBC Sports and everybody and Fox Sports and ESPN, they've all got stakes in betting companies now. That's why this story isn't being covered. We're in the middle of a major point-shaving scandal.
That's gotten really quiet.
Yes. We have now former NBA players about to go to federal prison over point shaving. And did you know that Iowa State just got slammed with a few of their players? This thing has trickled down into college, and that's why I want the vetting. There has to be a vetting process. Maybe not the schools, maybe the NCAA. But maybe you have to register with somebody that says, this booster is above board. This guy is not going to pull your point guard aside and says, hey, throw that game against Creighton.
I don't think it's them. I think, it's the other influences. It's the
posse?
Yeah. That's where that's coming from.
I could see some of that too.
That's where the element comes from.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. But I think Nick Saban on that, and it's a good start.
And you do have to have some NIL bigwigs on that because they need to come in because they know the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
Because they are the belly of the beast.
Yep.
But that's really all I want the schools to be involved with. Just vet those guys.
And that's better than us talking about a certain 24-year-old.
Yeah. Her. Which we could go on and on and on for days. But
oh, Lord.
Yeah, this is why, here's what I was going to say. This is why I've always said I love the Olympic model. Because what essentially is the Olympic model? The Olympic model is you go get your own sponsorships. The school ain't got nothing to do with it. You just go out and you want to make, $500 on your Twitch page just for sitting there and smiling for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I ain't got no problem with you doing that because you're doing the work. But when you're getting $5,000 just to show up on campus for a recruiting trip you scheduled, your official recruiting trip, you need $5,000 just to show up?
Yep.
I got a problem with that. I got a big problem with that. So, again, that's where we and again, I know hindsight's 2020. Hindsight's 2020. I got it. That's what it should have been 10 years ago. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, right?
Right.
Let's take a phone call before we head off to the break. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
The Marvel.
Matt.
Yes, Miss Betty.
I would like to know if they got this committee going on, and I know they have. I would like to know what the scholarship is involved in, because these players are being paid to go to college and to come in and play football or basketball or whatever. Their scholarship is on that. Do they get the scholarship plus the money, or do they start with the scholarship and then pay the money?
Well, I know they get the scholarship with the money.
Well, that's not right.
I agree.
Do you realize how much a college education costs?
Yes, I fully do.
My daughter does too.
Believe me. So, no, I'm with you on that. I'm 100% with you on that if you get paid, and I've said this should be the rule, if you get paid at least twice what the cost of attendance is for your school, you don't get a scholarship. You have to pay your own way.
Okay, Matt, let me tell you this. What you just said, I'm going to sort of repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the scholarship, they're going to have to decide how much that total scholarship is, and then pay extra if that's what they're going to do.
You get anything over that scholarship.
Because, the school now pays the scholarship. But just like you just said, go out and get a sponsor.
Yeah.
And because the school is not supposed to be giving you money at all.
But that's about to change, because with this revenue sharing thing that's going to go through when this settlement finishes up, there's going to be money coming from the school.
Well, it can't be. How is the school going to do this?
They got to figure it out.
That's what the committee's for.
The SEC gets so much money.
Mm-hmm.
The Big Ten gets so much. I don't know how much the ACC gets.
Not as much, but they get a lot.
But I'm also wondering, getting a little bit off of what I'm talking about, that I heard the ACC and the Big 12 was going to merge. Is that true?
I have not heard anything of that nature. I think now we're all focused on 2032 as probably when this college football Super League is going to happen.
Well, I can't see them doing the Super League either, because they're going to knock a lot of colleges, like private schools, they're going to knock them completely out.
And I don't think that's a bad thing for those schools either. That might be their difference between them surviving and not.
Well, like Vanderbilt, they'll always survive because they got money.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got all those doctors, and you got Gloria Vanderbilt that's a graduate from that school.
So Vanderbilt, regardless, will always be Vanderbilt.
Yes, ma'am. All right. We're going to head off to the break, Miss Betty.
enjoying the program,
Right.
and I'll hang up and listen.
Happy Mother's Day,
Happy
Miss
Mother's
Betty.
Day.
Thank you so much.
All right. Back in a minute for your favorite time of the week, y'all.
This weekend, saddle up and head on out to the Golden Saddle, the PD's favorite spot for live music, great food, and good times that just doesn't quit. Friday night, the stage is set for the legendary duo Joe and Johnette, bringing the heat with saddle karaoke. Whether you can carry a tune or just carry the mic, sing it loud, sing it proud. Saturday, they're cranking it up with no fun allowed. Spoiler alert, they bring nothing but fun. You do not want to miss this show. And don't forget, the grill is hot and the drinks are cold. Come hungry and try the famous 14-ounce saddle steak, cooked to perfection and served with all the fixings. It's big enough to share, but we won't judge if you don't. The Golden Saddle, located at 2244 Harrybird Highway in Darlington. Doors open at 7 and the party goes till you can't dance anymore. The Golden Saddle, where the weekend rides in loud, proud, and full of flavor.
Hello, everybody. This is Donnie Daniel with Daniel Wealth Management. Who is Daniel Wealth Management? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about us. At Daniel Wealth Management, we care and listen. We strive to protect, manage, and grow your future vision of life. We do this with character, integrity, and confidence as we seek to earn your trust and celebrate life's journeys together.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth.
Nothing says tradition like your hometown Piggly Wiggly. Take it from the pig. When it comes to value and freshness, you can't beat Piggly Wiggly. They've been bringing home the bacon for millions of American families for over 100 years. Today, they're one of the best known and best loved brands in America. Stop by your local Piggly Wiggly today and take home the freshest meats, vegetables, and produce, along with great deals on all your favorite brands. Each week, the pig features new specials, perfect for your tailgating parties and family mealtime.
Mark your calendar. The Cowboys are saddling up and heading our way. The BC Society and Community Broadcasters present the 28th Annual Black Cowboy Rodeo, sponsored by Don't Scream, Call Akeem Anastapulo Law Firm. Dial 800-777-7777. The Black Cowboy Rodeo on May 24th. Get ready for heart-pounding rodeo action at its best. That's May 24th at Greenfield Farms in Rimbert. Don't miss out. Call 800-499-9658 to purchase tickets.
South Carolina listeners from the Midlands and the PD have saved thousands of dollars on products and services provided by local businesses at carolinasaves.com. 100% of every item on carolinasaves.com is at least 50% off. There's restaurants, health and beauty products, entertainment items, and so much more. It's worth it to check out the website and bookmark it on your device because new items are added every week. Every day, listeners save cash at carolinasaves.com. Go there now, carolinasaves.com.
The Mega Memorial Day sale is happening all month long at High Point Furniture, and it's bigger than ever. Huge discounts on sofas, sectionals, bedrooms, mattresses, and more. With quality service and unbeatable selection you can trust. Enjoy 0% financing, 0 down, and no credit needed with just $5 down. Don't miss out. The savings are on fire all month at High Point Furniture in Florence at 1916 West Evans Street and in Sumter at 873 Broad Street. High Point Furniture, your home for style, savings, and service.
This is Robbie Nally from CRW Insurance. Let's face it, insurance needs are typically not on your mind until a loss occurs. Don't wait for that severe storm or auto accident to determine if you have the right coverage. Let us help you prepare today for tomorrow's unexpected. Simply call 803-775-1168 or stop by our Sumter location at 25 East Calhoun Street or our Manning location at 117 South Brook Street to discuss and review your current insurance needs.
Clemson, Carolina, Coastal. We've got you covered on Game Day in the Carolinas.
All right. It is our favorite time of the week.
It's Men with Shirts, Idiot of the Week, brought to you by Men with Shirts and Mr. Rob Weiland. Give him a call at 843-260-1105. Check out his Facebook page or check out his website, menwithshirts.com. If you're a small business, he can save you money. He can put your image that he can help design and lay out for you completely on a t-shirt, hat, cup, koozie, whatever you need it on, and he can save you money because you don't have to buy 500 of them to get the deal. So give him a call. Go out and check his website. But Rob Weiland's our Idiot of the Week sponsor and a good friend of the show.
Absolutely. What you got?
Oh, I'm going to Australia for mine.
Okay.
A woman narrowly avoided jail on Monday over her plans to sell on the black market 2 human toes that dogs had regurgitated at the animal shelter where she worked. She's 48 years old. Her name is Joanna Kathleen Kinman. She was not at the animal shelter, but these dogs had been brought into the shelter as part of a rescue. Their owner had died and had been there for several days. The dogs ate part of the owner's remains, then threw these up, and there's apparently a couple websites that she could go sell these regurgitated toes to people on for as much as $253. Was that really worth it? So she pleaded guilty to offensive conduct with human remains. She faces a maximum possible sentence of 2 years in jail.
Oh, dear.
So there's my idiot of the week.
Don't worry, my idiot of the week's a little bit more tame. There's no throw up involved, except, well, the thought of this makes me want to throw up. Well, we're all surprised by Shedeur Sanders' draft slide. Well, a man in Atlanta was so surprised he's now suing the NFL for $100 million.
Well, you had a lot riding on that draft pick.
For, quote, the harm caused to the plaintiff and the impacts of the NFL's actions on his emotional well-being. Now, this is what he wants. Other than $100 million, this is what he wants. A formal acknowledgement from the NFL regarding the emotional distress caused by their actions and statements. A retraction of the quote-unquote slanderous statements made about Shedeur Sanders, along with an apology for any harm it caused his reputation, implementation of fairer practices in the drafting process, okay, whatever, and any additional remedies the court deems appropriate, including compensatory damages.
I'm still trying to figure out how he's hurting, how this his loss. And what kind of attorney would take that case?
There's about 10 in Florence County that would do it in a heartbeat.
They're just hoping for a settlement?
Yeah.
I don't think it would stand up.
They can get money. Yeah, you got a couple ambulance chasers that would take this in a heartbeat.
But I just don't think a judge would hear any more of that.
This is going to be laughed out of court.
But, you know, everything with this whole Sanders pick's involving court cases now because the interview videos that the Giants took and one other team are being they've been threatened with a lawsuit by Sanders' family and the Cleveland Browns that they released those publicly to show how bad the interview was with Sanders.
Man.
They're being sued, too, or threatened with a lawsuit.
Well, we won't see you next week. We'll see you the week after.
Y'all be safe. Enjoy your naked skydiving.
Okay, yeah, sure. All right, for Woody and Matt, see you next week.
Are you feeling run down? Struggling to keep up with life's demands? At Practical Purpose Solutions, they're here to help you reset, physically and mentally. Kendra Robinson, family nurse practitioner, and her amazing